Good morning, everybody. It is 9:31 right now. Welcome back to Iowa Live. Lou and Michelle here, and we're going to be talking about a subject that I think almost everybody that's watching right now has brought up at one time or another, at least in the past couple of months.
Yeah, and it's a lot of news stories as of late and so forth. And joining us to talk about this topic, Beth Turner is the manager of health promotions at the American Lung Association. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. And main topic of conversation here is about talking about e-cigarettes and a lot of the
Vaping.
Yeah. And some of the stories, the headlines that we've been hearing of lately, and talking about some of those dangers of e-cigarettes.
Sure. And we, the American Lung Association, are deeply troubled with the reports that have been coming through from the Centers for Disease Control, local health departments, nationally as well as in the state of Iowa, concerning lung disease from the use of e-cigarettes and vaping.
Did you see this coming?
The American Lung Association has been sounding the alarm about e-cigarettes and the potential harms from those for about over a decade.
Really?
So sadly, what we've been sounding the alarm to has come to fruition as we've seen 380 confirmed as well as potential cases of lung disease through the use of e-cigarettes and vaping, and that's through 36 states and the Virgin Islands. And on a very, very sad note and a tragic note, there have been 7 confirmed deaths.
Oh, there have
from
been.
this. There have.
Because there were some concerns about, some of the what some were calling exaggerations.
Sure.
People that were passing away because of doing something like this.
Sure.
But there have been confirmed deaths from
Sure.
this.
Yep. There have tragically been 7 deaths.
You said you've been talking about this for a decade now. Has that been about how long vaping or e-cigarettes have been around?
Sure. So they're a relatively new product
Right.
in terms of a tobacco product, but they've been around for over a decade.
Now, is it a tobacco product?
It is. It originates from nicotine, which is derived from tobacco, and 99% of e-cigarettes contain nicotine, which I think is often a common misconception among our community.
Now, is this where the problem lies? Is it lying in the nicotine that's involved here, or is there something else that is causing the issues?
Sure. Well, there's a lot to be determined because it is so new with these reports. There's a lot that the health departments and the CDC are collecting for information, but we're really troubled with what we're seeing so far, and vaping being a common denominator between a lot of these cases.
Talk about, I know the flavored and the lack of regulation and getting these approved, and so forth. Talk about that.
Sure. So we know through tobacco research and in the past that flavors attract kids. Point and simple. And 68% of youth who are using e-cigarettes in high school use a flavored tobacco product. So we know these flavors are attractive to kids. There's over 7,000 flavors in e-cigarettes.
Wow.
You have anything from gummy bear, bubble gum.
I'll say bubble gum is the one that really got me.
Right, right. So there's a huge variety of flavors, and point and simple, we know these are attractive to kids. And through a CDC study, it did state that the use of flavors is a common reason why youth are using these products.
Now, is it illegal for youth to use e-cigarettes?
They have to be 18 in the state of Iowa to purchase the e-cigarettes.
Okay, so as long as they're 18 years old, they can go get e-cigarettes.
Sure.
And probably a lot younger, knowing the youth of every era, not just this era, but kids a lot younger than that are getting involved too.
Online purchasing is available for a lot of these products, so we have online sales, but you are to be 18 years of age to use and possess these products in Iowa.
Because I think a lot of people think of it as a healthier variety.
Right.
So, and that's, speak to that a little bit.
Right. So the use of e-cigarettes is unsafe, no matter if you're an adult, no matter if they're youth. We're especially concerned with youth because of the nicotine in these products, and we know that nicotine has lasting impacts on the developing brain. And as I mentioned earlier, not a lot of youth are aware that nicotine are in these products, and they've actually increased in the nicotine saturation throughout the years with these products. So we're seeing high levels of nicotine in these products.
And nicotine is addictive.
Right. Nicotine is addictive. And it shows that there's a common denominator from youth who may be using e-cigarettes to eventually use traditional tobacco products, as well as be a gateway impact into other drugs potentially.
Okay. When they're labeling things, bubble gum and tutti frutti and all of that's like their marketing to children and trying to. So how are they going to? How do you see it moving forward to cut back on that?
Right, and so the FDA has the authority to regulate these tobacco products, and we've heard a lot through the news about the Trump administration announcing that they were going to pull these off the shelves and have a 30-day process where the FDA is going to cite regulation. But the point in blank is that the FDA can regulate these products, and our organization has been pushing for them to do so and have that be a part of the conversation.
Now, as the American Lung Association, are they most concerned about the nicotine that's in this product, or are they concerned about the flavoring that is in this product? Which one is more of a concern to you?
Sure. So with e-cigarettes, there are tons of chemicals in these products. We see things such as formaldehyde in these products, propylene glycol, heavy metals.
Propylene glycol, antifreeze. Okay,
Right,
okay.
and volatile organic compounds are part of these as well. So inhaling any of these chemicals can potentially cause irreversible lung disease and damage. And we know that the nicotine portion is the addictive portion that gets our young kids hooked and using these products in the future.
What gets me is I just saw a report yesterday on this talking about one of the flavoring additives for e-cigarettes has been banned from food. You cannot get it in food, but you can still get it in e-cigarettes. How does that work?
Sure, and so these products continue to be unregulated right now, which is also a misconception that there's absolutely zero regulation for the product standards, the manufacturing of these products. So we see things such as differings of strengths within the products. Some products that may state they're nicotine free actually contain traceable amounts of nicotine within them. So that lack of regulation really puts it at a wild, wild west for these products.
What are things that we can be doing before more new regulations take effect and so forth? What are things that for people that are watching and those that have people in our lives that may be concerned? What are some things we can be doing to help take action on this?
Sure. I think the first point is having an honest conversation, especially with our young people about these products. We know there's a lot of misconceptions surrounding the thought that they are a safe product. They are not a safe product. The thought that they don't contain nicotine, 99% of them do contain nicotine. So the education piece, I think, is what's really important. And we have a lot of great resources on our website, lung.org. And we have such things as the Vape Talk, where it can guide parents through a conversation with their youth about these products to kind of go through what it looks like, what the products contain, and the potential dangers of these products.
Now, there are some states that are really doing something about this now, not waiting for the country to do something for this in general. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So there are some states that have taken off flavored e-cigarette liquids off of the shelves. There's been some conversations in other states doing so as well. But other states have enacted things such as Tobacco 21, where they're increasing the legal age to purchase to 21 to prevent young people from starting as well. So those are some legal implications that some local states have been taking.
Is there anything in particular that you would do if you could, besides just say don't sell them, one thing that you think you could do, say tomorrow, but say tomorrow we can't do this anymore, that would really help?
Sure. We at the Lung Association, we support raising the tobacco age to 21 to help preventing that getting into our young people's hands. That's something that was a conversation last year, but we do have certain guidelines for the organization that we really want to see all tobacco products covered within that, no populations exempted from that, to be able to create a stronger law. Education within the school systems. We've been reaching a lot out to our school systems to provide education to teachers, students, parents. The state of Iowa has a program called iStep, which is Iowa Students for Tobacco Education, Prevention, and Control. And they have what's called a summit that will take place in October that youth are able to go and participate and learn more to bring back and to educate their communities. So those are a few things that we can start doing, and there's programs and resources available that everyone can reach out to the Lung Association. We would be happy to support your school, your community, as parents as well as guardians.
Wow. Oh, that's what a great resource. And now, when is the event again that you spoke of in October?
October 17th.
Okay.
So there's a web page that's called iStep that you can go and visit, as well as you can call our office or the Iowa Department of Public Health to learn more.
Okay. But so the bottom line is vaping and e-cigarettes absolutely not safe.
Agreed. Yes, they're
Okay.
completely not safe, and the Lung Association urges people to not use these products.
Okay, and we're learning more and more and scary things about these things each and every day. So again,
And it's
get rid of
getting them in the hands of young kids like that.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for talking to
Absolutely.
us. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll be able to curb this. Again, it's at epidemic levels.
Yep.
going on
Absolutely.
right
Surgeon
now.
General coined it an epidemic among our youth.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. It is 20 minutes before 10 o'clock right now. Don't go too far.